DID is dissociative identity disorder. It's where a person has two or more distinct personalities and they switch between them uncontrollably. What it actually is fractures in the brain and the mind, which are different, caused under the age of 12 by extreme and repeated abuse, generally RAMCOA or sexual abuse. It causes a fracturing in the personality. When the child can't understand anything around them, and the torture or the pain and confusion and trauma is so large, they understand nothing. Their consciousness splits from their body and yeets itself somewhere else, and an alter is made, an alternate personality. If the child is in a torture situation and they can't handle the pain and the environment, which children cannot, their consciousness will exit their body, similar to an out-of-body experience, but they're not dead. And it will go somewhere else into a part of their brain that isn't handling or experiencing the torture at the moment. All alters are part of the person, but they take on uniquely separate personalities and memory banks. When the fracture is made, that child is stuck then, that part, that remnant of the child is stuck at the age it was when it was created. So people with DID have numerous parts, differing. Everyone's situation would be unique. They have individual alters that were formed at the age that the trauma occurred. Myself, I have kid parts, and if I switch into one, I feel, experience, and respond and have the emotional capacity of the age of the child alter I switch into, 8 years old or 6 or 10 or whatever. That doesn't mean I lose the intelligence or the awareness of today. I'm healed enough that I don't lose the awareness of today. I'm still aware of where I am 99% of the time and what I'm doing, but all of a sudden I will go into the emotional state of a child. So if I was doing work and I was stable and pretty chill, and I switch into Adam, my part is 6 years old, and so all of a sudden my body responds 6 years old, and I go from really chill to 6 and distracted and distractible. I change the subject. It isn't that I'm not aware of what the hell I was doing, but if you can imagine, when you switch and become 6, all of a sudden you don't care about what you're doing, because the 6-year-old wouldn't. And it's rough, and I work with it, and I work with therapists to try to manage that as best as I can. DID is dissociative identity disorder. Every survivor of horrible human trafficking is a person with DID. Fun fact. And the children lost in human trafficking are the child parts of people with DID, whether they are 12 years old currently and walking around with parts, because children are never diagnosed with DID. They're not diagnosed until their 30s. So the children lost in human trafficking are the children still child-aged who are being fractured or have been, or the child parts. Mainly the children in human trafficking that are still lost are the child parts of adults, adult-bodied people with child alters. They're used for their parapsychological gifts, psychic gifts, remote viewing, and astral projection, things like that. Thanks for asking.